Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rural Rapport. My name is Teresa Hoffman. I'm a Senior Communications Associate here at the Center for Rural Affairs. At a time when access has become a critical component of everyday life, approximately 23% of the 122 million households in the U.S. don't have a high-speed broadband. Nearly two-thirds of unconnected households have access to a home broadband connection, but are offline because they cannot afford to connect. Closing this broadband affordability gap has become a national priority. My guest today is Vanessa Castro, Director of Broadband and Digital Equity for the Southeast Nebraska Development District. She's joining me today to talk about the Affordable Connectivity Program, a federal initiative launched in 2021 that helps make broadband more affordable to all households. Vanessa, thank you for joining me today.
I know. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Vanessa, tell me about the Affordable Connectivity Program and the role the Southeast Nebraska Development District is playing.
Yeah, so SEND applied for this grant that came out more than a year ago. And their role, they wanted to be able to have enough funding to be able to spread the message across the state. And in most states, people got around maybe like at least six organizations that got involved, but Nebraska only got one, and it was SEND. And SEND partnered with 6 other development districts in the state so that they could have a wide reach. And so we have been trying since June to get this all started, but the ACP, as you mentioned, started about a year and a half ago. And since then, 20.4 million have enrolled nationwide. And so that's a 39% national ACP adoption rate. And the ACP was created to address the broadband affordability gap to help connect individuals who have the internet infrastructure but can't afford a service plan. And so what is ACP? ACP is $30 off of your monthly internet bill, $75 for those who live on tribal lands, and a one-time discount of $100 toward a purchase of a connected device if your plan allows for it with the provider that you have. So that's a little bit about ACP.
Great. Well, how does a person or a household qualify for the program?
Yeah, so if your total income is at or below 200% of the federal poverty level, or if you participate in SNAP, Medicaid, federal public housing assistance, SSI, there's many programs to help you qualify for it. If your child attends a school where they receive free and reduced lunch, if your child attends a school that I believe is a CEP school, again, there's many ways to qualify for it.
Well, how are you and others in the state working to get information about this program out? What challenges are you facing, and what can people do to help?
Right. So the challenges I would say that we face the most are with the counties, with our rural residents, because it's hard to find ways on how they can access this information. And if it's not through the internet, it's a little bit difficult to do so. We try to meet people where they're at. So attending resource fairs or community events that we know our community members are going to. A lot of the EDDs are working on marketing, working with the groups that they already work with and sharing information about ACP. But it is difficult, especially since the program's funding is set to end in 2024. They are working on extending it, and it's, there's a lot of positivity around it that it will be extended. But the hard part right now is trying to get the numbers up as much as possible so that we can show Congress and the Senate that it's working, people need it, and people are wanting it to be continued.
So we talked about how a person or household qualifies. So once that is determined, how do they sign up, and what do they need to know about starting the process?
Right. So something that I do want to mention with households is, it's best to apply the ACP benefit to the Wi-Fi so everyone can access it, because if one person in the household is already using it, then no one else can use it. It's per household. And so you don't want to apply it to one phone. But essentially, you apply online. I recommend going to GetACP.org through Education Superhighway, which is a nonprofit that is working on getting ACP numbers up nationwide. Or you can go to the Federal Communications Commission's website and apply through there. But I think that one is GetInternet.gov. And you would go on there, and it's kind of a two-part process, because first you would apply and put in your information and either put down that you receive SNAP or whichever program that helps you qualify. And then you would have to turn in a document that shows that you participate in one of those programs. So you'll receive an email. So you have to have a working email, which is a part of the process, and it can make it difficult because 45% of people who apply are actually rejected after that first part, because they either don't have their document ready, or they don't know how to access it, or they just kind of leave the application alone. But it can actually be a very fast process. It can take 15 minutes. If you're able to do the application, say that you have your document ready that shows that you qualify for that program, and you turn it in, you'll get an email right away, and then you can call your provider and tell them, hey, I qualify for ACP, and get the $30 discount.
Well, in today's world, having access to the internet has become just as important as any other utility. It's critical to businesses, farms and ranches, the education of young people, and healthcare services. From an economic development perspective, how important is it to make sure everyone has access?
It's extremely important. High-speed internet, and I say high speed, highlighting high speed, is a necessity. It's not a luxury nowadays. Over 90% of jobs worldwide have a digital component. So digital literacy is increasingly seen as an essential skill for employees, and have been linked to higher earning potential and new economic opportunities. And I would say for rural residents, we saw what happened during the pandemic, how isolated they were, how much it wasn't just needed for their job, but for medical issues. We saw higher rates of COVID-19 deaths in rural areas because of that. And so without ACP, we could be going back to pandemic times for our rural residents. And so it affects, I would say, almost every aspect of our lives.
Well, I'm going to include some links below to more information, but if somebody needs some help, Vanessa, can they call you? How can they do that? How can they get some help in just navigating the application process?
For sure. So they can contact me. My email is vcastro@send.org. And also, I will send you a link to share with people where they can have free assistance online. They can make an appointment with Education Superhighway, and somebody can walk them through the application process.
Well, great, Vanessa. Thank you again for joining me on this month's Rural Report, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. If you'd like to learn more about the Center for Rural Affairs, please visit our website at cfra.org. Have a good day, everyone.